Welcome to Out and About with Grout, my very first podcast. This is Jamie Grout. Thanks for joining me. I am planning on doing these podcasts, I don't know, once or twice a week at least, and maybe even more a little bit later on. You never know. It's been quite a summer, and, in late May, my position was terminated. In fact, three people at the radio station had their jobs terminated at KCOB and Energy 106.7 in Newton, and two people at the Alpha Media radio station in Grinnell also were terminated. And congratulations to Chris Varney, the sports guy from KGRN, and also did some sports on KCOB too, ending up at a radio station in Atlantic, and Randy Van going to KNIA KRLS in Knoxville, and he's going to be doing Newton Cardinal sports from down there. So good job to those guys. I'm glad it all turned out well for them. So what do I plan to do with this podcast? I don't know. I want your suggestions, and I want you to let me know who I might be interviewing. I have a whole list of different people that I could interview around the Newton area. There's a wide variety of folks. And if you ever heard Feature Scope on KCOB, this will be kind of like that. It might not be quite as long, but it'll be interviewing people about the different events going on around the Newton area. It'll also be about what they do. For example, if I talk to Newton Mayor Evelyn George about her job as mayor and what all she does and the challenges that she has and why she wanted to become mayor in the first place. So though there's a lot of different ways we could go. I know that Newton Senior High School has a brand new principal. We'll be talking to him too, maybe somewhere along the line, like to anyway. And so I'd like your suggestions, and I want you to let me know what is going on. I want to thank some people for giving me the suggestion on getting this podcast started. My dear friend Jeff Mackey has been on me before I even lost my job at the radio station. He was on me to start doing a podcast, and I never did. And he's been on me ever since I did get let go from the station, and he's pushed me toward it. And so, hey, here you go, Jeff. This is the Shakedown Cruise, as they say. This is the first podcast. I want to thank also Justin Goodfellow, another insurance agent, who says he would support me doing a podcast. In fact, I was very flattered that when I posted on Facebook, over 700 people said they would support me doing a podcast. So thank you very much for that. But everybody has different ideas of content and what they want to hear. If I were to ask 700 people what they wanted to hear, I might get 700 different answers. But it'll be focused mainly on Newton, Grinnell, and Marshalltown, because when I was on Energy 106.7, those were the three main cities that we had listeners in. We had an awful lot of listeners from the Marshalltown area. So we'll try to get Marshalltown news on, along with Grinnell news and whatnot, along with stuff that's going on in Newton, because the coverage is not really there for Newton and Grinnell especially anymore, since there's no local news going on. So I'll try to fulfill that need as much as I possibly can here doing my podcast. And if you have, again, any events going on around the Newton, Grinnell, Marshalltown area that you'd like to have publicized, hey, send me an email to jamiegrout@outlook.com, jamiegrout@outlook.com, and I'll give you a plug on it if it's for a nonprofit club, group, or organization. Love to help you out there with that. So this is just kind of, as they say, the Shakedown Cruise, the audition, the very first podcast, and later on in the week I hope to record one and do a good job for you, and for heaven's sakes, not make it too long, because from what I understand, the most successful podcasts, the most listenable podcasts, are those that are shorter rather than longer. I know that Joe Rogan makes $1 million a year doing his podcast, but those go on for about 2 hours, and I just don't think that you want to hear a podcast for 2 hours with Jamie Grout interviewing somebody. So I'll try not to make it too long. So again, my email address is jamiegrout@outlook.com. I'd love to help you out if you have anything going on, or if you'd like to be interviewed for an event that you have happening. I know that as I speak, the Jasper County Fair is getting ready to get underway, and I always had fun at the Jasper County Fair interviewing all people from all walks of life, the people involved in 4-H, FFA, people who were exhibitors there at the fair, who were in open classes and whatnot. It's always a good time there at the Jasper County Fairs. If you have anything you want to tell me about the Jasper County Fair, for heaven's sakes, send me a message. I'll be glad to hear what you have to say. And again, if you have an event coming up, hey, I'll try my best to give you some publicity on it. As I speak, there's a lot of politics going on. The last 2 weeks have been kind of crazy with the presidential election and whatnot. And, I really want to stay away from politics. We've become so divisive as a nation between Republicans and Democrats, conservative folks, liberal folks. And it comes down to a personal thing. And I just really don't want to have politicians on or talk politics too much because, for heaven's sakes, we can get enough of that in other forms of media. So this podcast is going to be focused more on local stuff happening in Newton, Grinnell, and Marshalltown. And so that's what we're going to do. I think that's what people really want to hear about. And I hope you'll listen to it, and I hope you enjoy what you hear. And for the third time, here's my email address if you have any suggestions for me, jamiegrout@outlook.com, jamiegrout@outlook.com. Well, hey, thanks for listening to this podcast. It's not very long. This one's shorter than how most of them are going to be, but it's the brand new one. It's the Shakedown Cruise, as they say, my audition. So give me your thoughts. I'm open to any comments you might have about this. Thanks for listening. Take care. Talk to you soon.